Hello, my name is Andy Felt. I'm a professor of mathematics at the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. This is Chris Natsky. Chris is a student at the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. Today we're going to talk about different methods of voting.
Now, many people are surprised to learn that there are several different methods of voting, and the outcome of an election can be decided by what method you choose. For an example, there's Professor Arnold Barnett of MIT and Professor Alex Belinkie have shown that with the current system used to elect the United States president, as little as 24% of the population could elect the president.
Today we're going to run an election in the classroom. And so first we're going to meet the candidates. There are 4 candidates, and I want you to meet them.
Hello, I am candidate A of the best smiley face competition. You better believe that I'm gonna win this.
Hello, I am candidate B for the best smiley face competition. I hope you all will vote for me.
Hello, I'm candidate C for the best smiley face competition. I hope you will make the right choice in this election.
Hello, I am candidate D for the best smiley face competition. Here, no one can stop my good looks.
Now that you've met the candidates, what we're going to do is ask you to rank them. Each person in the class should rank them. And so, for example, maybe you liked candidate B the best. Then you would rank B as the first choice. And then maybe your next choice was candidate D. And then so you would maybe have the order B, D, A, C. Or maybe someone else liked the order A, C, B, D. Rank them from most favorite to least favorite. And now the teacher can pause the video. Welcome back. While you were casting your votes, we held an election here, and these are the results. You can see that 3 people voted A, B, C, D. 3 people preferred A, C, B, D. 1 person liked the order A, D, B, C, and so on. And you can see the results here and here. For example, 2 people liked the order, like C the best, B second best, A third best, and D fourth best, and so on. So then the question is, how do we decide the election? And this is where we want to talk about the different methods. One of the most common methods of deciding the election is called plurality. And plurality is very simple. All you do is take the person's first choice, and the candidate who has the most first place votes wins. In fact, most of the time, the voter only indicates their first choice, so they wouldn't rank them. They would just say, I like C the best, for example. Now, Chris is going to count up and show you who wins our election by plurality.
So, as going through our election numbers and such, we see here that 3 people have chosen A, B, C, D, 3 people A, C, B, D, and 1 person for A, D, B, C, meaning with plurality, candidate A has 7 votes for it. For B, we have 2 in the first column, 1 in the second, 2 in the third one. That would give us 5. Then moving on to our next set, we have for C, we have 1, 2, and 1. That'll give us our 4. And then for D, we have 1, 6, and 3, which will give us 10 votes overall. So altogether here, we have A with 7, B with 5, C with 4, and D with 10. So using the plurality method of voting, D has won the election here with our data. Now, to mention, we have D with 10 votes out of 26 total votes. So D has won with the plurality, but he has not won with the majority. What the majority is if you get half or more of the total votes. So looking at the data, you can see that maybe everybody else didn't like D, but D is still the winner because that's still the most votes by plurality. So we have a few questions for you to try and answer during the break. Do you think that candidates A, B, C, and D are similar? Why D won in our election? And is there anything undesirable about the plurality outcome? And I want you to take this time to calculate who won plurality in your election. Now this is where the teacher can pause the video and while the class answers the questions. Now, maybe during the break that you took the time and you discussed some of the major weaknesses that exist in plurality.
One of the major weaknesses of plurality can happen in an election with 3 or more candidates. What often happens is that the mainstream candidates wind up splitting the votes of the mainstream voters. And what can happen is an unusual candidate, then, one that distances himself from the others, can wind up winning a plurality election. That is exactly what happened in our election. Candidates A, B, and C were similar candidates, maybe more mainstream candidates, and they wound up splitting a majority of the vote, and it allowed candidate D, kind of an unusual candidate, to win the election.
I know this shows where plurality is weak, even though it's widely used in many different countries for government elections.
So in an attempt to compensate for this weakness in plurality, a method called instant runoff was devised. And instant runoff works like this. If there are no candidates that win a majority of the votes, remember that a majority means that the candidate has received more than half of the votes, then the weakest candidate, the candidate with the fewest number of first place votes, is eliminated. In our election, the highest vote getter was candidate D, but 10 votes is not a majority. It is only a plurality. In order to get a majority out of 26 votes, you would need 14 votes, or more than half. So, because D did not win a majority, candidate C is eliminated. The reason candidate C is eliminated is candidate C received the fewest first place votes. So in instant runoff, candidate C is eliminated, and candidate C's votes are not then thrown away. What happens is candidate C's votes are sent to other candidates. This voter liked A second best, and so this voter's vote will be cast for A in instant runoff. So A now has 8 votes. The 7 votes represented over there, plus this 1 vote. These 2 voters liked B second best, and so B wins those 2 votes when A is eliminated, giving B 7 votes. This one person liked D second best, and so that vote goes to candidate D. So in instant runoff, the new vote totals are 8 for candidate A, 7 for candidate B, and 11 for candidate D. Now, you may notice that nobody has won a majority still. The highest vote count is D, but he only has 11 out of 26 votes. So because there is no majority candidate yet, instant runoff goes through a second round of elimination.
Okay. And beginning for our second round of elimination, looking at the voting totals, with 11 for D, 8 for A, and 7 for B, we see that in this round, B will be the next one to be eliminated. So in this case, we have here, we see 2 votes here, 1 vote here, and C was eliminated here, so we go down to his third pick. So these 5 votes from here will all go to A, giving A a total of 13. And then going back, we have to redistribute some of the votes from C once again. So going from here, we see 2 votes here that went to B. These now go to A instead. So A's total from there will end up being 15. Now with our new totals here, we have A with 15 votes, D with 11 votes, A has enough votes to have the majority, A wins the election with the instant runoff method of voting.
Instant runoff is a good method. It's also known as plurality with elimination because you start out with a plurality round and then you eliminate candidates until there is a majority winner. In our case, A won. This method is used in several places. One is in Australia. It is used to elect the lower house of representatives. It is also used to represent or to elect the President of Ireland. Now, I'd like you to pause the video in a moment and answer the following questions. I'd like you to determine who won your election, the one that you held in your classroom, using the instant runoff method. I'd like you to find out, is it the same candidate as one earlier with plurality, or is it a different candidate, just like in our election? And if it was a different candidate, are you happier with this result? Do you think this is a more fair result? Now you can pause the video. Welcome back. Hopefully you discussed some of the advantages to instant runoff. For example, in our election, the people who voted for candidates C and B did not waste their votes. Their votes wound up counting for candidate A and getting candidate A elected. So people who liked candidate C and candidate B could vote for their favorite candidate and yet still not waste their votes. So in instant runoff, your second and third choices can really count. It's a nice thing about instant runoff. Next, we're going to talk about a method that you may not have heard of before, and that method is the Borda count.
The way the Borda count method for voting works is that for each place that you rank somebody, the points will be awarded to that candidate. So in our example with 4 candidates, a first place vote with 3 points, second place 2 points, third place will be 1 point, and last place will be no points. At the end, you tally up all the points, and the person with the most points is the winner of the election.
So let's see who won our election using the Borda count. It's kind of a complicated process. If you think about candidate A and the number of points that candidate A got, candidate A was the first choice of all 7 of these voters. And so using the Borda count method, that gets a 3 times 7 points, because each of those 7 votes was a first place vote, so worth 3 points. If you look at these 2 voters and this voter, candidate A was their second choice, and so that gives a 2 points each. Let's see if A got any more second place votes. A got a second place vote here and a second place vote there. So that's 2 plus 1 is 3, 4, 5 second place votes for A. Second place votes are worth 2 points. Third place votes are worth 1 point. And let's see, where does A get a third place vote? Here, A got 2 third place votes. 2 more here. And 6 third place votes there. So that's 2 plus 2 plus 6, 10 third place votes, and each third place vote is worth 1 point. And in our election, fourth place votes are worth no points. So A gets no points from being the fourth choice. I should mention that these point values are valid for 4-person elections. In a 10-person election, the first place would be worth 9 points, second place would be worth 8 points, and so on. So you adjust it depending on how many candidates there are. Let's see how many points A has. 21 plus 10 is 31, plus 10 is 41 points. Okay, let's add up how many board account points candidate B has. Candidate B has 5 first place votes, each worth 3 points. How many second place votes does candidate B have? B has 3 second place votes there, 2 here, and none here. So that's 5 second place votes, 5 second place votes. And the number of third place votes for candidate B, 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 3. So that's 8 third place votes. So the number of points, each third place vote is worth 1 point, remember? So 15 points from first place votes, 10 points from second place votes, 8 points from third place votes. That's 25 plus 8 is 33 points for candidate B. You can see this method is a bit difficult to calculate the winner, but in some sense it is also fair. Candidate C got 4 first place votes, each worth 3 points. Second place votes for candidate C, 9 here. Second place votes for candidate C, 3 here, and 2 there. So that's 14 second place votes for candidate C. So many people liked candidate C second best. How many third place votes did candidate C get? 1 here, 3 right here, 2 right there, and so that's 6. So 12 plus 28 is 40, plus 6 is 46. Wow. And candidate D, our plurality winner, how many board account votes or points did candidate D get? Well, he got 10 first place votes. How many second place votes did candidate D get? 1 here, 1 here, and nothing else. So 2 second place votes. And how many third place votes? 1 here, and 1 here. So 2 third place votes. Look at this. D got 10 first place votes, 2 second place votes, 2 third place votes, for a total of 36 board account points. So look at our totals. 36, 46, 41 for A, 33 for B. Candidate C is the winner. Candidate C, who got the least number of first place votes. Candidate C, who was the first to be eliminated by instant runoff, has won the Board account election. And conversely, candidate D, who won our plurality election, his support faded and he came in third place in the Board account election. Now, I'd like you to pause the video in a moment and discuss the following questions. How is it that candidate C managed to win the Board account election in our election? How would you describe the support for candidate C versus the support for candidate D? Which one has broad support and which one had support of some and was disliked by most of the others? I want you to calculate who won your election using the Board account. Find that out. Was it a different candidate than the other two elections methods? And discuss with your class and with your teacher what you like and don't like about the Board account method. What are the advantages and disadvantages? Pause the video now.
Welcome back to the video. A Board account method really is a different method than what you're used to seeing, and it's a little bit more complicated when deciding out who wins. And it really drives home the point that every vote really matters. It's for the points and the way they're distributed. Now, with this method, it also gives all the moderate candidates who appeal to the larger audiences a much better chance to win the election. They have a little bit of an advantage here. This type of voting method is used for American college football, for voting for the winner of the Heisman Trophy and the Eurovision Song Contest. Now, overall through the video today, we've gone through several different types of voting methods. We have our plurality voting, where it's quite simply the most first place votes win. We have our instant runoff, where you eliminate the candidates with the least first place votes and redistribute them based on how people have ranked the votes. And the Board account, where you award points for each first place, second place, third place, and so on for the votes, and decide the winner by who has the most points.
This concludes the classroom portion of the video. We hope you enjoyed the video. We thank you for your attention. We'd like you to discuss with your classmates some issues. What was your favorite method of voting? Why did you like that method the best? Even experts disagree on what the best voting method is. And so it's common to have disagreement. I'd like you to discuss that with your candidates. Thank you very much.
Take care and good luck.
Welcome to the teacher comments portion of the video. This part of the video is for the teacher only. It will give some hints and comments on the various parts of the video. First of all, thank you very much for choosing our video, and it's a very important topic, we think, and hopefully it's an interesting one for your students. The prerequisites for the students are very simple. All they need to understand is simple arithmetic. In the introduction, Chris mentioned that the US president can be elected by a very low percentage of the population. There is a reference to that work in the teacher packet in case some of your students would like to investigate that further. In the first break, you will be gathering the data from your class. Your class will be voting on the four candidates, candidate A, candidate B, candidate C, candidate D. Each student should rank the four candidates, first, second, third, and fourth. You can gather the data in several ways. One is to make photocopies of a ballot that is included in the teacher packet. That's one good way, because all of the data will be written then, and you can then go over it several times to make sure that your data is correct. Another way to do it, if you don't want to photocopy, or if you don't have access to a photocopier, is to have the students decide on an order for themselves, and then close their eyes and ask the class who chose candidate A as their first candidate, who chose candidate A as their second candidate, and so on. You should write all of the data on a board like we did for the class to see all of the data. Also, if your data doesn't turn out to be interesting enough, for example, if one candidate actually has a majority, all three methods will return the same candidate. Then you can use an alternate data set that is available and in the teacher's packet. So we have a second set of data that that you can use if yours does not turn out to be interesting enough.
Right. For the time during the second break and such, might be real quick, real easy, focusing on the weaknesses of plurality. There should be a good bit of discussion between the classmates and such. The winner of the election should be fairly obvious, seen fairly quickly. But during the third break, you should take a little bit of time, watch the class, because not everybody was going to be familiar with instant runoff type voting and such, just to make sure that everybody is understanding how it's calculated and where the votes are going to. Of course, depending on how the votes come out, you might only have one round of elimination versus the two that we've shown here as part of the video. The discussion itself should be a bit longer, especially if you have two different winners now with the different methods of voting and such.
During the fourth break, you will be calculating the winner of your election using the board account method. That method is the most complicated of the methods. It requires careful understanding of the method, and so you should keep a close eye on your students and make sure they understand how to add up the points involved with the board account.
And of course, during the fifth break and such, we'd be expecting lots of discussion, people working together, trying to discuss about the different methods and such. Hopefully everything is going okay up to this point. One thing that's optional for you to do after the end of the video is you could even hold an election to decide the class's favorite method of elections and holding them. And you can try using all three different methods to see what ones come out on top and have a little bit of fun with it at the end. This concludes the last part for the teachers portion of the video. We hope you've enjoyed the video. Hopefully it's helpful for you and your class, and that you have a better understanding of different methods of voting and common places that they're going to be used. So have a good day.
Thank you and goodbye.
Arnold Barnett of MIT and Professor Alex Belinkie have shown that with the current system used to elect the United States president, as little as 24% of the population could elect the president.
Today we're going to run an election in the classroom, and so first we're going to meet the candidates. There are 4 candidates, and I want you to meet them.
Hello, I am candidate A of the best smiley face competition. You better believe that I'm gonna win this.
Hello, I am candidate B for the best smiley face competition. I hope you all will vote for me.
Hello, I'm candidate C for the best smiley face competition. I hope you will make the right choice in this election.
Welcome back. While you were casting your votes, we held an election here, and these are the results. You can see that 3 people voted A, B, C, D. 3 people preferred A, C, B, D. 1 person liked the order A, D, B, C, and so on. And you can see the results here and here. For example, 2 people liked the order, liked C the best, B second best, A third best, and D fourth best, and so on. So then the question is, how do we decide the election? And this is where we want to talk about the different methods. One of the most common methods of deciding the election is called plurality. And plurality is very simple. All you do is take the person's first choice, and the candidate who has the most first place votes wins. In fact, most of the time, the voter only indicates their first choice, so they wouldn't rank them. They would just say, I like C the best, for example. Now, Chris is going to count up and show you who wins our election by plurality.
So, as
Hello, my name is Andy Felt. I'm a professor of mathematics at the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. This is Chris Natsky. Chris is a student at the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. Today we're going to talk about different methods of voting.
Now, many people are surprised to learn that there are several different methods of voting, and the outcome of an election can be decided by what method you choose. For an example, there's Professor.
Hello, I am candidate D for the best smiley face competition. Here, no one can stop my good looks.
Now that you've met the candidates, what we're going to do is ask you to rank them. Each person in the class should rank them. And so, for example, maybe you liked candidate B the best. Then you would rank B as the first choice. And then maybe your next choice was candidate D. And then so you would maybe have the order B, D, A, C. Or maybe someone else liked the order A, C, B, D. Rank them from most favorite to least favorite. And now the teacher can pause the video.